The klaxon blared, its piercing wail slicing through the frozen silence of the Arctic morning. The sound shattered the calm at the Norwegian base, echoing off snowdrifts and hangars, jolting everyone to full alert. For NATO pilots Viper and Raptor, it meant only one thing: scramble, and scramble fast. Every second counted. Unidentified aircraft were racing toward NATO airspace from the north, their radar signatures bold and unmistakable. There was no time for questions, just pure, drilled action. Instinct and training kicked in. The mission was clear: get airborne, identify the intruders, and be ready for anything, no matter how unpredictable. Coffee cups dropped to the floor, conversations stopped mid-sentence, and the base snapped into a flurry of movement. Viper grabbed his helmet, eyes locked on the radar data. 2 bogies, high altitude, moving fast. Adrenaline surged. The ground crew sprinted to the F-35s, working with practiced urgency. Jets were fueled, weapons loaded, systems checked in record time. This was no drill. Tension hung thick in the icy air, every breath visible in the cold, every movement sharp with purpose. The pilots moved with practiced speed, muscle memory guiding their hands. Years of training took over, leaving no room for hesitation. The sun cast long golden shadows as they crossed the slick tarmac, boots crunching on ice, minds already in the cockpit, running through checklists. They were the tip of the spear, NATO's first line of defense against any threat that dared approach. The ground controller's voice crackled over the radio, crisp and urgent. Viper, Raptor, 2 unidentified contacts, Angels 40, Mach 1.5. Possible foxhounds. Intercept, identify, report. Rules of engagement were standard, but the MiG-31 Foxhound meant serious business. These were not ordinary intruders. These weren't lumbering bombers. They were Russia's fastest interceptors, built for speed and power, capable of reaching the edge of space. The game had just become much more serious. Every decision now carried real consequences. Viper and Raptor exchanged a look, no words needed. Years of flying together meant they understood each other perfectly. The scramble was on. In moments, they'd be airborne, engines roaring, racing to meet the threat head-on, ready to defend the skies above the Arctic frontier. Getting into an F-35 is a blur of clicks and snaps. Every movement is deliberate, every sound a reminder of the high-stakes mission ahead. The cockpit is a tight, high-tech cocoon, and as the harness locks in place, the outside world fades away, replaced by the hum of electronics and the anticipation of flight. Ground crews moved with practiced precision, helping Viper and Raptor into their G-suits and survival vests. These suits aren't just for comfort, they're vital, designed to protect pilots from the crushing forces of high-speed maneuvers and the unforgiving elements if things go wrong. Next came the F-35's high-tech helmets, cradled carefully in the hands of the crew. These helmets are more than just headgear. They're the pilot's window to the battlefield, fusing man and machine. The helmet's visor projected all flight data directly onto the pilot's eyes, offering a seamless 360-degree view of the world outside. Enemy positions, friendly units, and navigation cues all appeared as if floating in midair, turning the pilot's gaze into a powerful weapon. Raptor settled into his cockpit, surrounded by a constellation of glowing displays. As the systems flickered to life in a green glow, he ran through the checklist: fuel, weapons, comms. System checks. Everything was green. The jet was ready, and so was he. Outside, the jets linked up, their data streams merging into a single tactical network. Each pilot could see what the others saw, sharing information in real time. They weren't just individuals. They were a unified force, stronger together. The F-35's engine hummed, a deep, powerful sound that vibrated through the tarmac. It was the sound of potential energy, of raw power waiting to be unleashed at a moment's notice. Ground crew gave the final thumbs up, faces set with focus and pride. Chocks were pulled away from the wheels, signaling the point of no return. The mission was about to begin. Tension was high, but the pilots remained calm and collected. Years of training had prepared them for this moment. Every breath, every heartbeat was measured, steady. This was what they lived for. Tower, Viper flight ready for immediate departure, came the call, crisp and confident over the radio. The response was immediate. Cleared for takeoff. Runway 01. Godspeed. The words hung in the air, a final blessing before the unknown. Viper pushed the throttle forward. The engine roared to life, afterburner igniting in a blaze of light and heat, pressing him back into his seat with unstoppable force. The F-35s thundered down the snowy runway, wheels slicing through the frost, engines howling. The noise echoed across the frozen landscape, a signal to all that the mission was underway. In seconds, they were airborne, climbing into the cloudy dawn. Above them, the unknown waited, vast, unpredictable, and full of danger. The mission had begun, and there was no turning back. The MiG-31 Foxhound is a Cold War relic built for speed and altitude. It's less a fighter, more a flying missile battery, one of the world's largest tactical aircraft. When Foxhounds appear near NATO borders, it's a deliberate test of response. Capable of Mach 3 and 65,000 feet, they can monitor vast Arctic airspace and launch missiles from over 100 miles away. Their speed means little warning, forcing NATO to react instantly. Each encounter is a strategic probe, gathering intelligence on NATO's defenses. Every Foxhound flight is a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Viper's F-35 roared off the runway, afterburner blazing. The Norwegian coastline shrank below as the jets climbed steeply. At 30,000 feet, the sky deepened to indigo, stars sharp in the thin air. Viper's helmet displayed two red triangles, enemy contacts, moving south. The F-35 calculated intercept vectors and fuel, thinking as it flew. Viper flight, bogies at 12 o'clock, 100 miles, came the call. Viper confirms, moving to intercept. The jets adjusted course, closing in fast. Stealth mode engaged, weapons internal, radar signature minimized. To the MiG-31s, they were nearly invisible, ghosts in the stratosphere. The F-35s were in their element, a high-tech, information-driven battlespace. They were the hunters, closing in unseen. The mission was underway. The enemy was just over the horizon. The gap closed at over 2,000 miles per hour. Viper and Raptor flew a combat spread, sensors linked, sharing a 360-degree view. Raptor, I've got a good track, classic Foxhound profile, Viper said. The F-35's computer built a 3D model of the MiG-31 from faint radar returns. Sensor fusion gave them the full picture before visual contact. At 50 miles, tension spiked. This was the critical phase. The F-35's stealth meant the Russians likely had no idea they were there. The goal, get close for a visual ID without provoking a reaction. Okay, Raptor, I'll approach from their left quarter. Hi, you cover me. Copy that, Viper. I've got your 6. The F-35s adjusted speed and position for the final approach. The high-stakes ballet was about to reach its climax. The MiG-31 is a sledgehammer, fast, high-flying, built for interception. The F-35 is a scalpel, stealthy, networked, a multi-role fighter for the information age. The MiG-31's strength is speed and long-range missiles, but it's not agile. The F-35's strength is stealth and sensor fusion, letting it see without being seen. In a direct fight, the MiG-31 could strike from afar if it could detect the F-35. But the F-35's stealth is designed to defeat such radars. Most likely, the F-35 would spot the MiG-31 first, choose when to engage or slip away undetected. In this encounter, the F-35s weren't looking for a fight. They used stealth and sensors to control the situation. The F-35s held all the cards. The Russians didn't even know they were there until the F-35s wanted them to. Viper eased his F-35 above and to the left of the Russian jets, his heart pounding in his chest. Every movement was calculated, every second stretched out as he closed the distance. The sky felt electric, charged with the tension of two superpowers meeting in the open air. The MiG-31s were massive, their silver bodies gleaming in the sunlight, red stars bold on their tails. They flew in a tight, disciplined formation, a testament to Russian precision and power. Each jet was a symbol of strength, their engines roaring in unison as they cut through the sky. Raptor, I have visual, 2 Foxhounds armed with R-37s. No unusual activity, Viper reported calmly, his voice steady despite the adrenaline. The MiGs looked ready for anything, but for now, they held their course. Viper zoomed in, recording tail numbers and missile types, crucial intelligence for command back home. Every detail mattered, the serial numbers, the missile loadouts, even the subtle paint scratches on the MiG's fuselages. This was more than a flyby. It was a silent exchange of information. It was time to make their presence known, to show the Russians that the skies were being watched. Viper adjusted his course, signaling with a subtle maneuver. He descended in a slow, deliberate arc, bringing his jet alongside the lead MiG. The move was bold, but measured, close enough to be seen, but not to provoke. Viper flew smoothly, hands steady on the controls, positioning just ahead and above the Foxhound. Every muscle in his body was tense, but his training took over, guiding the jet with precision. The Russian pilot's head snapped to the side, eyes wide with surprise. For a split second, their gazes met through the glass canopies. Two pilots, both professionals, both aware of the stakes. For a moment, the jets flew parallel. Titans from two worlds, each representing their nation's might. The air between them was thick with unspoken challenge and mutual recognition. Viper gave a slow, deliberate wing rock. The Russian pilot hesitated, then returned the gesture. No hostility, just mutual respect, a silent agreement that today there would be no escalation. The message was clear: we see you, and this is as far as you go. Both sides understood the boundaries, the invisible line neither would cross. The standoff was silent, but decisive. In the vast expanse of sky, a wordless conversation had taken place, one of power, caution, and respect. The world below would never know how close it came to the edge. With the visual ID complete, the mission was accomplished. Viper held position, Raptor covered from behind, a visible show of force. Viper, bogies turning north, came the call. The MiG-31s shifted course, heading back to Russian airspace. The test was over, the message received. Viper and Raptor shadowed them to the boundary, then broke off. The job was done. No shots fired, no escalation. As the F-35s turned for home, the adrenaline faded. These encounters were tense, but professional. Peace had been maintained, this time. The flight back was quiet, the Arctic sky serene once more. Viper and Raptor landed, greeted by relieved ground crews. Every detail of the intercept would be debriefed and analyzed. The F-35's sensors had gathered invaluable intelligence. Each encounter adds to NATO's knowledge, helping keep the peace. These intercepts are high-stakes diplomacy at the speed of sound. As the pilots walked away, the adrenaline gone, they were just two men at the end of a long day. They'd stared down a formidable threat and returned safely. Peace is fragile, maintained by readiness, technology, and restraint. For today, in the cold Arctic skies, that peace had held.